Today we're going to be making cooked dog food. It's going to be quick, it's going to be simple, maybe take you half an hour tops. This recipe is 1 kilogram. The link's in the description. Make sure you download my free nutrition guide for more recipes that are going to help your dog live a longer, healthier and far more enjoyable life, because these are damn delicious. All the recipes I make are functional. They contribute to certain areas of your dog's health. This one in particular is for their immune system. Right, we're going to start making cooked dog food. First things first, we're going to put a tablespoon of our oil into the pot. This is the high burn point oil that we're going to be cooking with, 1 tablespoon per kilogram of food that you make. Next, we are going to take our chicken and chop it up in small pieces. Luckily, I have the food processor, as I said, which is going to ensure that I save quite a bit of time. It's a lean meat. There's not a lot of fat in here, which is exactly why we have the MCT oil. Now for the lamb heart, the nutrient power bomb. You can see it's still got a bit of fat on here. Because this is a lean meat, I wouldn't worry too much about the fact that it does have fat on here. If you were using maybe a pork or a red meat, which was more high in fat, I'd say maybe cut some of it off to ensure that you're not putting too much fat in the recipe. If your dog's exercising a lot, however, you don't need to worry about that. They'll be burning it off. So you can see how red it is in here. This is a really high protein meat full of iron, magnesium and zinc, all that blood. It's really healthy. Organ is a really significant part of your dog's diet. It's your doggy multivitamin, if you would. Okay, so it's in reasonably small bits here. You can still see kind of little chunks of lamb heart, which is perfect. You don't want to juice it. Like I said, that would not be great. We still want little small bits that your dog can chew on ever so slightly. They're not massive chewers, more gulpers, have you probably noticed. Whack this into the pot. So I'm now going to take this over to the hob, where I'm going to start cooking it for a little bit. I've mixed the oil in nicely, get it all covered in oil, because it does tend to stick to the pan if you do not. We're going to put it on a medium heat. I have this wonderful hob over here which heats up nearly instantly. Whack it on there. I'm going to put it on a medium heat because I've still got the vegetables to blend up, so I don't want to end up burning anything. That's one of the most important things when you're cooking your dog's food. One of the simple things that you have to stick to is follow the recipe within an appropriate range. Don't feel like you have to stick exactly to it, but kind of stick to it. And don't burn the meat. Now for the vegetables. We're going to start off with our amazingly functional superfood ingredient, shiitake mushrooms. These cannot be served raw. They contain a toxin when they're raw, but when they're cooked, it allows your dog to access the vitamin D in there, which is great. Dogs can't synthesize vitamin D from the sun. They've got coats, and an increased vitamin D intake is associated with lower cancer risks. Not only that, but shiitake mushrooms have been found to inhibit cancer cell growth. These are quite literally anti-cancer foods, and that's amazing. That's what we want to be including in our dog's diet. Half of dogs are getting cancer these days, so fight back with functional foods. Whack the end off the carrot. In there. The ends off the asparagus as well. Into bits, and into the pot again. On goes the vegetables, into small chunks. Do not juice this. Now, depending on the size of the dog will depend on their ability to pick out vegetables. My dog is medium-sized and I know that she'd prefer to eat the meat, so I've made them quite small. Other dogs, let's say you got a Labrador, you probably don't need to worry about it so much. They're going to gobble up everything you put in front of them. But the fussier dog, the smaller the bits the vegetables need to be. Here are the little bits or the sizes of the bits of the vegetables that I've chosen. It actually smells delicious. Yeah, so now I'm going to mix this in with the meat. I'm going to take a look, see it needs to be cooked a little bit. The chicken needs to be whitened, mostly whitened before I start whacking in these bits. They're going to cook quickly because they're small. The only real idea behind cooking your dog's food is to remove the bacteria around the edge. Now, whether or not this is a justified fear, I would advise you watch my video on raw versus cooked, and that'll lay it all out for you. We want the majority of it to get white before we mix in the veggies. You don't have to be, spot on with when you throw in the vegetables. Your dogs are not food critics. They've got a quarter of the taste buds that we do have. So if it is the case that they end up refusing this meal, it's very much an issue around the behavioral times of meals. They know that you'll probably end up replacing the food. They're very smart animals. If you look at this, look how healthy that looks. Look at the colors. And now we really just need 5 more minutes to get these vegetables cooked. Their fibers will start to change. Raw vegetables have different fibers to cooked vegetables. Those fibers will feed different bacteria in the gut, ensuring that your dog has a well-nourished gut microbiome. That will ensure their immune system strength. It'll make them healthier, it'll make them happier as well. Everything is good about providing your dog with a range of foods and fibers and nutrients. And that's exactly what we're doing by making this cooked dog food meal. So we're pretty much there. Finito. Look at this. Look at this delicious food. That is a delicious dog food. We are done with the cooking part. Move this stuff out the way. What do we have left to do? Well, we're going to crack the egg in here. It will slowly heat up and cook with the food. We're also then going to grind up the eggshell with a knife or with this little pestle. We've also got to grind up the seeds as well to make sure that they're digestible and that your dog can actually get the nutrients from the seeds instead of pooping them out. You don't need to worry about getting any shell in the mix with dog food because they need it. Mix it all in, nice mix. Get the shell, crunch it down, crunch it down. Don't chop your fingers off. Nice crunch. I always recommend, if you are going to use eggshell as your calcium source, get organic eggs, sorry. You do need to be careful. Sometimes the lower quality eggs are sprayed, and in general, they have a lower calcium content because the chickens just aren't as healthy. Okay, sprinkle that in, mix it up nicely. Don't worry if there are slightly bigger bits than others. Mix that all in, mix that all in. Now we are going to grind up our seeds in the pot with the pestle. You just need to get a good crack in every seed. So there's an ability for the digestive juices, their dog's stomach acid to get into the seeds, to break them down so they can digest the vitamins, particularly the vitamin E in sunflower seeds. Again, pumpkin seeds are an amazing seed to give your dog. They're natural dewormers. And the current research that's coming out on the dangers of chemical dewormers, they're so toxic, so harsh on your dog's gut. You really want to avoid those. And using pumpkin seeds is an amazing natural substitute. So sprinkle them in just like you did with the eggshell. Mix it all up nice and evenly. We have this MCT oil, which it's not supposed to be cooked, it's supposed to be served raw. It's because we're using a lean meat chicken that we are increasing the amount of fat that we're providing the dog. Chicken would be too lean, so if you're feeding your dog your own recipes, and in particular lean meat recipes on a regular basis, you want to make sure you're using an oil which they find easy to digest. Pour that all in. We've got two tablespoons of this in the recipe. Mix it all up, mix it all up. If you want to know more about the food groups, lean meats, fatty meats, how to balance natural oils with lean meats, download the nutrition guide or go watch my video on doggy food groups. That'll give you a great understanding of what foods your dog's supposed to be consuming and in what proportion. Okay, that's all mixed up. We got finally the cherry on the top, our blackberries. Chuck them in, bish, bash, bosh. Blackberries are a wonderful source of manganese and a rare source of manganese. It's actually quite hard to find this mineral in many other foods. What's amazing about blackberries and living in the UK is that they burst out. They are in abundance towards the end of the summer, and you can go and forage them completely free. They're not like mushrooms where if you make a mistake, it's game over. They're really obvious. Now it's ready for the Tupperware. Once we put it in the Tupperware, it can last in the fridge for a week, or you can freeze it for ages. Once you've brought it out of the freezer and defrosted it, again, that will last a week before it goes slightly too off, even for a dog. Lid. Now there might be some juices in the dog food, don't worry about that, get that all in there. We don't want to risk any fat runoff. The fats that liquefy at the bottom, your dog needs those fats. That's part of the recipe, that's part of what makes it balanced, and they will love the juices at the bottom. I might make a little bowl for my dog for tonight and put the rest in the fridge. She'll be eating this for the remainder of the week. This is how you make super healthy, super nutritious dog food with immune building, anti-cancer ingredients. This is good stuff. This is really good stuff. I am a raw feeder predominantly, but every once in a while, maybe once a week even, I make a super functional, amazing cooked food meal because, like I said, it offers a different range of nutrients and important nutrients that can help fight cancer. Research has shown us that 90% of cancers are due to incorrect lifestyle and environment. So what do? We increase the quality of their diet. We increase the specificity of the diet to include functional anti-cancer foods. That's our mitigation. That's why I serve cooked dog food, and it's something that raw feeders cannot do. So, do both. She's normally used to raw food, so the different flavors that are coming out in cooked food, she is sensing, she's smelling them, she'll be able to taste it. She's going through it at a serious rate. I promised you I'd link a couple of videos at the end of this. One is raw versus cooked and the other is doggy food groups. Take a watch, and yeah, I hope your dog enjoys this recipe.